Lisa Rubin, everyone waited 6 weeks at least to see these documents. Apparently there are more that maybe we'll never see. These have redactions. And one of the reasons why there was a wait, lawmakers claimed that the documents needed to be poured through to protect the victims. And yet victims were not protected, it appears, in these documents. Tell us about it.
No, Mika, I spent a lot of time looking at these documents, and obviously you can't boil the ocean over a weekend. 3 million pages is quite a bit. But one of the things I found was I counted the names of more than 40 known and suspected survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell just in my cursory review of the documents. And of course, on Friday, one of the first things I found was a driver's license of a known survivor, someone who testified at Ghislaine Maxwell's trial with her photo completely unredacted, something that Todd Blanche had pledged in his Friday press conference that we would absolutely not see. He told us that photos of every woman except for Ghislaine Maxwell would be fully redacted, and yet this was a driver's license with the woman's picture fully visible, her name fully visible, and yet someone had taken the time to black out her address. And Mika, now I can tell you and our viewers, I've had the opportunity to speak with this woman who gave me permission to share her story this morning. Her name is Anushka DeGiorgio. She was one of the 4 women who testified at Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. And in addition to her driver's license, one of the things that I discovered was handwritten notes from and a typewritten memorandum from a July 2021 meeting she had with prosecutors. And the purpose of that meeting was to assess her credibility on the stand at Ghislaine Maxwell's trial by probing her about the most intimate details of her life and background. Things like her romantic history, her history of substance abuse and her subsequent recovery and sobriety. Things like the names of her sponsors in recovery and the names of men that she had dated, and so on and so forth. Anushka DeGiorgio found out that these documents were in the public domain because I contacted her lawyer. And on Friday, she received a text from her lawyer notifying her about this. Within 24 hours, she wrote a scathing email to senior leadership at the Southern District of New York. You'll remember that the Southern District of New York's U.S. Attorney's Office was where Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were both prosecuted. They also played a very prominent role in the review of these documents. Anushka DeGiorgio telling them that they had re-traumatized her and opened up wounds that she had spent years trying to recover from, as well as exposing her to legal, professional, and personal harm by exposing these details about her life. As of yesterday morning, these documents belonging to Anushka DeGiorgio were removed from the Department of Justice's website.